We are live.
We are live. I'm super excited to be here with Christina Swyers. I cannot express how happy I am right now. Even before I was an agent, I follow her on Instagram. She's here to share her knowledge with us. And I cannot be more excited than this time. So Christine, tell us about your story.
Oh goodness, where do I begin? How far back do you want me to go? Like childhood, or are we talking?
Tell us, like, how do you start? How do you choose real estate as your
career? Okay, good. Well, so then I'll start. I'll kind of give the backstory before that, because I did not go right into real estate. It was not my first career choice. I did a lot of other things before I got my license. So interestingly enough. So yes, as she said, I'm Christina Swyers. I'm based out of St. Louis, Missouri. I've been a licensed realtor for 8 years. For the last 6, I've hung my license at EXP Realty. Love EXP. It's been so good to me and my family. But as she said, I'm going to tell you the story. And so I was a very young mom. I have a son who's 21, and then I have 2 other boys that are 9 and 6. So there's 12 years in between my kids, but I had him when I was 20. So I had to grow up really fast. And I thought to myself, I need a career that is stable, that I can have good benefits, so I can take care of my son, right? As a single parent. So I went into healthcare. I love helping people. I actually got a degree in radiology technology. I've worked in ERs, ORs, the urgent cares, direct patient care for many, many, many years. And that was a great career for me. Okay. I loved helping other people. I made great money. I had great benefits, but I got burnt out because it can be really, really daunting. But also, if I was 5 minutes late, they would always harp on me. And I didn't like that. I didn't like a boss telling me where I could be and what I had to be doing. So I left that career and I actually took a sales job. My very first sales job was actually selling cell phones while I was in college. And I did really well selling cell phones. I made full-time income working part-time hours so I could put myself through college. So that was like my first taste of commission-based work, and I was good at it. So when I decided to go for a corporate job, I said, what could I do where I don't have as big a cap, or I could make $100,000 a year? In my mind, at 25 years old, all I wanted to do was make $100,000 a year. That's where my mindset was. I had to make 6 figures. So I actually took a job at a college, a healthcare college, recruiting students into college. And I was really good at that company. I was rookie of the year in my company. And I took my salary from $36,000 to $96,000 a year in 9 months. I hit that goal. Yeah. And unfortunately, the school ended up closing about a year and a half later. So I went into locum tenens and I recruited emergency room doctors on the East Coast in New York and Philly. I did corporate recruiting, and I didn't really like that job because I didn't have the connection in person like I did with my students at the college. And so I learned a ton. And so through my years of healthcare and recruiting, corporate recruiting, I learned a lot about psychology of humans, how to do body language, tonality, how to be on the phones a lot. And I would sit and listen to my calls with my manager. And so I would just hear what I was saying to people over and over again. And I got really good at understanding humans on the phone. And then in person, I would interview them. Nothing better for me to do prior to real estate, because I use every one of those skills in my job now with my clients and with agents. And so what happened to me is I met my husband. We ended up having our first child together. And during that time, my mom got really sick. So I was pregnant and taking care of my mom in and out of state. And my husband said, just stay home with the baby and we'll figure out what you're going to do after you have him. So I did. And I said, I don't want to go back into my corporate job. I need control over my time. When you are a young new mom, you need time management. It's not necessarily about the money. It's about the schedule, right? So I said, what could I do where I'm in control of my schedule more? My husband said, why don't you go get your real estate license? And I said, well, I don't really care. I wasn't that person that loved walking through houses, but I did like to sell things. And I thought, okay, I mean, the commissions are pretty good on real estate. He's like, yeah, it's kind of hard though. They have a really high failure rate. I'm like, okay, I like a challenge. So I went and got my real estate license when my middle child turned 1. And so that was, I was in my early 30s, 32, 33 years old. So you're talking, I did not get my license until my 30s, mid, 30s. And I was knee deep in babies and diapers and like really just trying to navigate learning a new company, learning a new industry, and trying to raise my kids, right? And my husband basically supported us. I was a single, mom, and then we met. And then when we got married, I ended up staying home for a little bit, which what drew me nuts, like I needed to go do something and have purpose. That's really, really important. What I want you guys to really get conveyed from this conversation is it's not so much about figuring out what you want to do with your life and your career, but finding purpose, being on a mission and purpose with people that are like-minded. And so, yeah, I found that in real estate. And so getting my license, I held my license with a big box franchise. I was only there for 8 months. I only sold 3 houses. And the only advice my broker was giving me was to cold call, door knock, and work phone duty. And I didn't have a mentor and I didn't have anyone to help me. In fact, my second deal I ever did was a short sale, and I had no idea what I was doing. By the grace of God, I closed that property from US Bank in 45 days. I still do not know how I did that, but I think it was just a testament to, I love this quote, like, I'm gonna figure it out no matter what. Like, no matter what happens, everything is figure outable. So I knew that, and I had that mindset every day that I would wake up in real estate, because we are our own boss, and it sounds great until we have to hold ourselves accountable every day and get up and do the hard things. It's so easy to just say, oh, I'm going to sleep in today. Oh, I don't have to do this. I don't have somebody telling me what I need to do, where I need to be every single day. So from there, I left and I went to a small firm locally. They sell a lot of investment properties. I wanted to learn how to flip houses, and I bought my house at the same time I got licensed, ironically. And I redid the whole house. I did a 203K mortgage. I gutted my house, still in the house today, doesn't look anything like it did. And I have a lot of sweat equity. So then I learned myself. So I was able to take my clients through that process. So a lot of my clients are investors, or I will go into a house with them if it's not perfect, and I will show them, you can do this, this, and this, and it's going to cost you this, this, and this, and you can make it what you want. And then you'll have some sweat equity. So you can either go down the street and buy something for $100,000 more, or you could do the work yourself, because I know I've done it, right? So a lot of our life skills, things that we personally experience, we can use with our clients every day. And that helps us niche down. I think it's so important for us to find the right people to connect with. It makes it easier for us. We don't want to work with everyone. We really want to figure out who we connect with. Like for me, single moms. I connect with a lot of single moms because I was one, so I can identify and understand what they're going through. It's like really knee deep in my heart. 2, our families, because I have a family and I know where all the best neighborhoods and the schools are. So I know where families want to live. And then 3, a lot of my clients, after I sell them their personal home, I will then in turn help them build their investment portfolio, buying a flip, buying a rental, buying an apartment building, whatever that looks like for them, to build a portfolio of wealth. That's why I love EXP so much, is because I've been able to build a portfolio of wealth in multiple different ways, the same way that we're talking to our clients. How can we not practice what we preach? How can we say we are for home ownership in this company and we're not promoting that ourselves, right? I feel the same way about streams of income. How can we say we're totally for this, but not take our clients on that same journey and help them, right? Because we know the best way to wealth in this country is through real estate. It really is. And it always has been. And I feel like it always will be, because the land will always be there. People will always need a place to live. It's a wonderful career. You get to help so many people.
I love when you said we don't have to work with everyone.
No, we shouldn't. And we should not. We should not, because I'm a big believer on like the universe gives you what you ask for. And I'm going to give you an example. Do you ever know those people? And I say this because I used to be this person when I was really young, and where I was like, God, why does all this bad stuff keep happening to me? I leave, I go out of my neighborhood, I get pulled over for a speeding ticket. Or like, why me? I always used to say, like, why would all these things happen to me? Well, it's interesting. The same thing happens when you change your mindset, but for good, where you're like, oh my God, I keep winning. I keep getting all this good stuff. I feel like whatever we're manifesting and thinking and our thoughts are so powerful. It sets the tone for every single day, and every single day adds up to our years. And we basically are telling the world what to give us. So if we wake up every day and we are willing to work with anyone and everyone, we're going to get anyone and everyone. And we know that that is stressful, because not everyone does things the way we do. Not everyone is ethical and has integrity the way we do. And that goes for clients, and that goes for other real estate agents and brokers. So all we can do is set an example, be the example, and tell the universe what we want, and really go find it. Go be that person. Be that successful person, and surround yourself with others that are the same, like-minded, have the same values, the core mission, like they're on the same path and road. They see the big picture. After you learn this business, after a couple of years, you really are able to niche down a lot more. You're able to be
a little bit about your social media. How do you start?
Yeah. So like I told you, when I was at my first brokerage, my broker wanted me to cold call and door knock. And I said, well, I'm not going to go do any of those things. I'm actually going to go start a Facebook business page, So this was back in 2015, when business pages were just a thing, where you didn't have to spend a lot of money to get a lot of views. You just had to create the content. Now you've got to pay to play. But back then you didn't have to. So I started a Facebook business page. And I didn't know what to share. I was like, what do I put on here? I didn't have a lot of sales. Like I told you, in my first 8 months, I only sold 3 homes. Okay. So I would do like tours, home tours, but most of the stuff I would share would be like, I would read like a personal development book, and I would share my thoughts from the book. I would go live on my page, and I would share that, and people would follow me, and they started following me from that. It had nothing to do with selling real estate. People just wanted to follow me. And then once they started following me for a couple months, they would reach out and say, hey, I need to buy a house, or hey, I need to sell my house. I really like you. Can we talk? And then I started thinking, wow, this really works. And this is so much better, because when you're cold calling someone or you're door knocking someone, that is only a one-to-one interaction. When I'm in front of somebody on social media, I can get in front of thousands, potentially millions of people, depending on how big your reach is. So I just feel like it's like your money goes further in a way. Your time is going further with people. Your reach is getting deeper, and you are attracting the right kind of people, right? People that you would actually want to be friends with in real life. I think a lot of my clients are great people. Like I would actually be friends with them or hang out with them in real life. They're a lot of fun. When we go out, it's not stressful. I feel like I can trust them the same way that they feel like they can trust me. And so social media you're able to create this persona, perception. Now, is it always real? No, because not everybody is real on social media. Is it fake sometimes? A lot of times. But I feel like Gary Vee says this really well. Gary Vaynerchuk, if you're not following him, he's wonderful. He talks a lot about how, yes, there's a lot of negativity on social media, but there's also a lot of positivity. And you can control the negativity. You can block people. You can unfollow people. You don't have to watch things that are negative, And so you could flip the coin a completely different way. And so that's just what I've done. I flipped the coin a different way. I've decided to use it for good and expand on that. Now, once I got a really great following, thousands and thousands of people, I started doing some money, like spending some money. I started finally selling more real estate. And when I left that small brokerage and joined EXP, I really was able to scale my business. At the time, I'd only sold probably 12 houses in a year before I came to EXP. And then, I've icon twice since I've come to this company. I'll probably icon again this year on average.
So you want to talk a little about icon?
Yeah.
A lot of people doesn't know what that means.
Yes. So for me, that wasn't my initial goal when I came to EXP. My initial goal, like I told you, was just to sell more than one house a month, because at the time I'd only sold 12 homes in a year. And so I said, what can I do to increase my sales? And so, you know what I did? I started coming to our company events, which I'd never done anything like this before. I didn't know anyone. And when I was at those events, something magical happened. I started creating referral partnerships with agents all over the country. And then they started calling me and giving me referrals, and vice versa. So I started creating income from relationships. from the collaboration. And in turn, my sales increased. I would find people would be calling me weekly. Now it's daily. I probably get calls from EXP agents at least 2 to 5 times a week for referrals. Even if it's not now, they could be a year out because of the relationships I built over the last 6 years at this company. But it's been from going to events and collaborating with agents all over, because you never know when somebody needs to move, especially if you're tied in with like a military town, because you know that a lot of times they're moving. So, and we have a wonderful military network at EXP for relocation as well. But then also you can make an additional stream of income if you hold a real estate license with from referrals. A lot of agents don't realize this, that you don't even need to sell if you didn't want to. If you were really good at referrals, you could just become a referral agent and take a fee. So there's other ways that you can make money in real estate. So EXP just really helped me explode that, and going to the events and doing that year after year, going to our shareholders events, going to our EXP conferences. And then in turn, it became going to like our leadership events, other agents that would host events. And then I started hosting my own events locally once, I felt confident enough. And something interesting started happening. People started calling me and messaging me and saying they wanted to work with me. And I said, well, I don't have a team. I'm just a solo agent. But, I do work at this company. And if you wanted to work with me, you could just become a partner with me at my company. And so there, in turn, grew my success squad. And today we have 95 agents in 15 states and Mexico, all organic. I got to tell you, almost all of it. I don't cold call people. People find me on social media, or they find me locally and they say, hey, I know that you've been producing. And a productive agent, I think, is an attractive agent. People want to work with people that are selling at a high level. And that's what our Icon program is. You can see these trophies in the background here. Those are a couple of the Icon awards that I've received. But at our company, we are shareholders, meaning we are owners of the company. We are publicly traded. And we have the ability to earn stocks 5 separate ways in this company. And one of the ways that you can earn stock is by earning your entire cap. We have a $16,000 cap at EXP. You can actually earn that whole cap back by doing production. So you'll sell 20 homes. And then once you can sell, once you hit, whatever it's going to take you to hit that cap, the 20 homes after your cap, or 5,000 in GCI. Once you hit that, then you hit Icon. Now there's cultural requirements, but you'll find once you get to this company, you want to be immersed in the culture. You want to help. You want to give back. Anytime EXP has ever reached out to me and asked me to do something, whether it's go to an event and talk or teach a class in our cloud office, I always say yes. Whether I've been a mentor for the whole 6 years, helping other agents, you want to give back. Once you've learned, our company culture is very collaborative. We want to teach. We want to give our knowledge. We want to help newer agents. That's really what this company is about, is helping one another, because it's a right, what is that? Brinko talks about the rising tide raises all boats mentality.
Yes, and it's so true, because as soon as I contact you, and everybody else that I contact on EXP to talk and collaborate, and, I need help with this, help me with my listing, agreement, and this, they always there to help. So this is an amazing company to be.
So Icon is something that most agents strive to hit. That was like one of my very first high, production goals. And I want to say something else about this, because this is kind of like taboo in our industry. A lot of companies just let anybody at their company teach. And I think that can be detrimental, because what if you are teaching on something you are not knowledgeable about or have never done yourself? How can you teach if you've never done, right? I think we all have different levels that we can share our knowledge at, but from a high productivity in real estate, you should have hit those goals first before you can share that with other people. So we have a series of classes that are taught every single week by Icon agents. And you can't just buy your way into being an Icon. You can only do that by sales. So that's just something I want people to understand, that you have high level, high quality real estate agents that are actively selling, teaching you what to do. It's not just somebody that's a coach that's 20 years removed from the business. These are people that are actively selling to be able to show you. And the reason that matters is because markets are hyper local. Like what's going on in your market may be different than my market. Okay. And so you and I both know that real estate can change like that. In a month or 2 months, things can change. So you need somebody that's knowledgeable, that's in it right now, working in it, that can understand what to do, how to shift, how to pivot, and be agile. You only know how to do that if you're actually actively selling. So that's
So true.
that.
Any other advice that you want to give it out for new agents, Christina?
Yeah, find a mentor and find collaboration. I also want people to understand that just because I've seen success in this business doesn't mean I wasn't new, just like you were once before. So you have to remember that everybody that has done something wonderful with their life has always begun as a beginner. They started somewhere at the bottom, somewhere with zero, and had to build. Okay. And it's just little steps and not giving up and being consistent every day that's going to reach you to your goals. And one day you're going to wake up and the phone won't stop ringing, the emails won't stop coming, and you just can't give up. So you have to understand that even if it's going to take you 1, 2, 3 years to build your business, which it may. I mean, going into that third year of business is when I felt like I really had my stride, and I was doing something right. Hence also coming to this company, I think helped me quite a bit. But finding my stride in like that third year and not giving up, because man, it's hard. And we have a high failure rate in this industry, but it's because people give up too soon. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy, but it takes consistency and hard work. And if you're willing to put in the work, you would be willing to get rewarded. No risk, no reward. And I tell people it's very difficult to do this business part-time. I understand you do what you got to do until you can, but you have to be, if you're going to do this part-time and work another job, you better be really structured on your calendar and time blocking, because it's going to be a lot harder for you.
Yeah, this is a really good advice. Yes.
Yeah, a lot harder. So that's what I would say. Yeah. And then focus on, just the little things every day, managing your time, knowing your dollar per hour. Once you learn how to do something, I also know this too, to be true. You should know how to do almost everything in your business, even if you're not doing it. For instance, I have a transaction coordinator. I've had one for years. I know how to do all the paperwork though. If for some reason my transaction coordinator wasn't able to do her job, interim or quit or something happened, I would know what to do. Okay. So business doesn't stop. And just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you need to be doing it either, because my dollar per hour, my hourly rate, whatever I've calculated that to be, that's not my best use of time. My best use of time is spent on listing appointments, working one-on-one with clients, not doing paperwork, not doing database management. Okay. So just understand and know once you hit a wall and you are busy and you can't do those things, or your business starts suffering, that you need to leverage and hire help.
Yes, I learned that in the beginning, like after 6 months on real estate, that we were doing so many transactions, I was like, how can I keep up with everything? Going all to the listing appointments and figure out how much the house is worth and this and that. I was like, I need a VA, I need help, or I need my husband. That's when my husband became a realtor, because he was on the background doing the paperwork. And like you said, we need to figure out our dollars per hours, right? What is worth and what is not worth for you.
Absolutely. It's totally worth it for me to pay my transaction coordinator to do all of those things when I'm out in the field, and I can call her and say, hey, can you write this amendment? Hey, can you put this on the inspection notice? And then I can review everything, make sure it's good, sign off on it. And then we have our entire compliance that's also signing off on everything, just to make sure nothing gets missed, because it's on us, it's our real estate license at the end of the day. It's us making the decision. So we have to be involved from a compliance standpoint. So I would think that's probably the best advice I would give you if you were new.
Christina, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, this is fun.
I really appreciate you so much. I admire you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah. And if your followers want to come follow me on Instagram, I'm at the real Christina Swyers. I have my blue check. I'm meta verified now because I got sick of the spam accounts. I think that's probably the best reason. Or on Facebook, just find me Christina Swyers on Facebook. And
yes, we also going to put all your information below on the video. So
yeah, please feel free, if you're new in the business or you want any kind of help or advice, please feel free to reach out to me. Always willing to help.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.